What would you do if I told you it's possible to get rich without having any money to start with? Sounds impossible? Well, know that the greatest millionaires in history started exactly this way. Without capital, without inheritance, and often without support. What did they have in common? A specific mindset that led them to transform ideas and effort into fortunes. I am Napoleon Hill, and for years I've studied the richest minds in the world to understand what separates the successful from the failures. I discovered that money was never the first step. True wealth is born before any initial capital. It begins in your mind, in your way of thinking, deciding, and acting. And that's exactly what I'm going to teach you in this video. Throughout this content, you'll learn 10 essential principles for building wealth from absolute zero, based on the secrets of history's greatest millionaires. You'll understand how to use your mindset, knowledge, and network to create financial opportunities, even without any money in your pocket. And in the end, you'll have a completely new vision of how success really works. So, if you want to learn the exact steps that transform ideas into wealth, stay with me until the end. And before we begin, I have an important request. Subscribe to the channel and activate notifications. This helps me continue bringing transformative content to you and ensures you don't miss any powerful insights in upcoming videos. If there's an absolute truth about building wealth, it's this: no one ever got rich without first nurturing an ardent and uncontrollable desire to prosper. Most people fail because their desires are fragile, passing, easily destroyed by the first difficulties. But those who build fortunes begin with a determination that borders on obsession. When I studied history's greatest millionaires, I realized they all possessed such an intense desire that they didn't admit the possibility of failure. This desire isn't a simple want. It's a fire that consumes every thought, every action, every decision. Andrew Carnegie, the steel magnate, once told me his fortune was born long before he had money. It began when he decided, with unwavering conviction, that he would be a rich man. He had no resources, no influential contacts, but he had something much more valuable: a firm decision, an internal commitment to his own success. Many think money is the first step, but this is a fatal mistake. If money were the determining factor, everyone who starts rich would end up even richer. And we know that's not true. What really matters is the willingness to keep moving forward, even when everything seems to be against you. If you desire wealth, ask yourself, is this desire strong enough to overcome your fears, your doubts, and the challenges that will inevitably arise? Those who treat wealth as a distant possibility never achieve it. Only those who transform this desire into a creative obsession find ways to overcome the lack of initial money. If you don't have capital, you have time and energy, and this, when properly directed, is worth more than any financial investment. The scarcity of money can be compensated for by a solid plan, a strategic network of contacts, and above all, an unbeatable mindset. Therefore, before thinking about how to make money, think about how to nurture this burning desire within you. It needs to be so strong that nothing can extinguish it. Reflect. Do you desire wealth enough to pay the price of success? Because the price will always be paid in persistence, learning, and action. Those who are willing to pay this price are the ones who inevitably achieve what they desire. The importance of unwavering faith. No great achievement was accomplished without faith. I'm talking here not about blind faith, but about the unwavering conviction that success is inevitable for those who refuse to give up. When I studied men like Henry Ford and Thomas Edison, I realized they not only believed in what they were doing, they believed in themselves with such deep certainty that no obstacle made them waver. This faith is the fuel that drives those who start without money, as it gives them strength to continue when everything seems impossible. Doubt is the assassin of wealth. Many start with a promising idea, but faced with the first failure, they allow fear to take over their minds. They say, "What if I fail? What if I never succeed?" These questions drain vital energy and weaken action. The rich think differently. They ask themselves, how can I make this work, and trust that the answer will come. This difference in mindset separates those who accumulate fortune from those who spend life trapped in mediocrity. Faith doesn't develop on its own. It needs to be cultivated daily. The best way to do this is through autosuggestion. Repeating to yourself every day that you are destined for success reinforces this belief until it becomes unshakable. Great entrepreneurs weren't born confident. They built their faith through repetition, persistence, and constant action. If you desire wealth, start training your mind to believe it's possible. Without money, your greatest competitive advantage is your internal certainty. You may not have capital to invest now, But if you have faith, you'll find creative ways to attract opportunities. Confidence in yourself opens doors that doubt keeps closed. Those who believe in their own capacity transmit this confidence to others, and this attracts investors, partners, and clients. The world rewards those who act with certainty and punishes those who hesitate. Reflect. Do you really believe you can become rich, or do you still have secret doubts? Because your reality will always reflect what you believe in the deepest part of your being. If you want to prosper without initial money, start by eliminating any trace of disbelief. Unwavering faith is what will transform your vision into reality. The strategic use of autosuggestion. The human mind is like a fertile field. What you plant in it will inevitably grow. If you feed your mind with beliefs of scarcity and limitations, you'll reap failure and difficulties. But if, on the other hand, you program it daily for success, your reality will begin to change. Autosuggestion is the most powerful method to transform your mindset and, consequently, your financial life. Everything you repeat to yourself, with emotion and conviction, becomes a truth in your subconscious. When I studied America's richest men, I realized that all, without exception, used autosuggestion to reinforce their beliefs of prosperity. They didn't allow thoughts of doubt or failure to dominate their minds. On the contrary, they repeated success affirmations daily. Henry Ford, for example, never accepted a no as an answer. He conditioned his mind to believe that any challenge could be overcome, and this belief led him to revolutionize the automobile industry. If you want to get rich without initial money, you need to start with what you have, your own mind. Set aside a few minutes every morning and night to repeat, with absolute conviction, affirmations that reinforce your certainty of success. Tell yourself, I am capable of creating wealth from nothing. The right opportunities always appear for me. I deserve to be prosperous and will live an abundant life. At first, it may seem strange, but over time, your mind will begin to accept these affirmations as reality. The key to effective autosuggestion is emotional repetition. It's not enough to just say the words. You need to feel them, visualize them, and believe in them as if they were already true. Imagine yourself living the life you desire, feeling the emotions of achievement. Your subconscious doesn't distinguish between what is real and what is imagined with intensity. By practicing this process every day, your mind will begin to see opportunities where it once only saw obstacles. Now ask yourself, what thoughts have you been feeding daily? Are they bringing you closer to or farther from wealth? If you want to change your financial reality, start by changing the way you talk to yourself. Your mind can be your greatest ally or your worst enemy, and it's up to you to decide what role it will play in your journey toward success. Specialized knowledge, your greatest fortune. If there's something more valuable than money, it's specialized knowledge. Many believe that to become rich you need a large initial capital, but the truth is that money always flows to those who possess valuable information and know how to use it. When I interviewed America's richest men, I realized that none of them started with a fortune, but all possessed specific knowledge that differentiated them from the crowd. They didn't just seek to learn, they sought to become masters at something. The mistake of most is believing that formal education is enough. But how many doctors live in poverty? What really generates wealth isn't the quantity of diplomas, but the mastery of applicable knowledge. Andrew Carnegie, who went from extreme poverty to become the richest man in the world, never attended university. However, he learned everything about the steel industry and used this knowledge to build an empire. The secret isn't knowing everything, but knowing deeply about something that has value in the market. If you don't have money, you have something even more powerful, the ability to learn. Today, more than ever, knowledge is accessible for free. Books, online courses, mentorships, direct experiences. There are countless ways to acquire specialized knowledge without having to spend. What most people lack isn't information, but the discipline to study and apply it. Many know what to do, but few do what they know. And that's where wealth separates from mediocrity. To get rich without money, ask yourself, in which area can I become an expert? It could be digital marketing, investments, sales skills, programming, or any other field with growing demand. The important thing isn't just learning, but finding ways to transform this knowledge into practical results. The market pays well for those who solve problems, and the more specialized you are in solving a problem, the more money you'll earn. Now reflect. Are you acquiring knowledge just out of curiosity, or are you specializing in something that can make you indispensable? Wealth doesn't come by chance, it comes from mastering something valuable. If you want to prosper without initial capital, Your greatest fortune will be the knowledge that no one can take away from you. Before we move on to the next principle, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss valuable content like this. Your support is essential for us to continue sharing knowledge that transforms lives. Have you already clicked like and subscribed? Then now get ready, because what you're about to learn can change the course of your life. Creative imagination, creating wealth from nothing. The greatest source of wealth isn't in a bank, nor in an inheritance, it's inside your mind. Creative imagination is the instrument by which ideas transform into fortunes. When I studied the world's most successful men, I realized that many started without a penny, but possessed something no one could take from them: the ability to see opportunities where others saw obstacles. Wealth is born first in the mind before materializing in the external world. Money always flows to those who find innovative ways to solve problems. Henry Ford didn't invent the car, but had the idea of making it accessible to everyone through mass production. Thomas Edison didn't create electricity, but imagined ways to use it to revolutionize the world. What did these men have in common? They used their imagination to create something that didn't exist before. If you want to get rich without money, you need to develop this same ability. Most people limit themselves because they believe wealth depends exclusively on capital. This is a fatal mistake. What really generates fortune is the ability to think beyond the obvious. If you have an innovative idea, you can attract investors, partners, and clients even before having money. Great businesses started with just a well-structured concept and a clear vision. The world rewards those who think differently and have the courage to act. Creative imagination can be trained. Whenever you encounter a problem, ask yourself, how can I transform this into an opportunity? Start observing what's missing in the market, what can be improved, what people need but don't yet have. Many of the greatest fortunes arose from this simple question. And best of all, ideas don't require capital to be generated, just an open mind willing to see beyond the common. Reflect. Are you training your imagination to find opportunities, or just repeating existing patterns? Money follows those who dare to think differently. If you want to build wealth from nothing, start developing the most valuable skill of all, that of transforming ideas into reality. Organized plan, the structure of success. Ardent desire, faith, and imagination are essential, but without an organized plan, they remain only dreams. Fortune never arises by chance. It is built through strategic and well-directed actions. During my research on America's richest men, I noticed an unquestionable pattern. All had a structured plan to achieve their goals. They didn't leave their success in the hands of luck, but in the hands of well-elaborated planning. Many believe that lack of money is the biggest obstacle to wealth, but in reality, lack of a plan is the real problem. With a well-defined plan, you can attract investors, convince partners, and find ways to transform opportunities into profits. Andrew Carnegie didn't start his millionaire journey with money in his pocket, but had planning so solid that he managed to gather the right people to make it a reality. A strong plan opens doors even before you have capital. The secret of an effective plan is clarity. It's not enough to want to get rich. You need to know exactly how this will happen. Ask yourself, what is my financial goal? What is the first step I can take today? Who can help me on this journey? What resources do I already have at my disposal? The more specific your planning, the easier it will be to execute it. The universe rewards those who know exactly what they want and have a path traced to get there. An organized plan also serves as a shield against giving up. When difficulties arise, and they always do, those who don't have solid planning tend to abandon their dreams. But those who know where they want to go and how they will do it find ways to adjust their strategies without losing focus. Wealth is built by those who persist, adjust, and continue advancing regardless of obstacles. Now ask yourself, do you have a concrete plan to build your wealth, or just a vague idea? Because without an organized plan, even the best idea in the world will remain just an idea. Money always follows those who know exactly where they are going, and your journey toward wealth begins with well-defined strategic planning. Decision and courage to act. Hesitation is one of the greatest enemies of wealth. During my studies on the world's most successful men, I realized that they all shared a fundamental characteristic: the ability to make quick and firm decisions. Indecision is a subtle form of fear, and fear paralyzes. If you want to get rich without money, you need to learn to act with determination, because opportunities rarely wait for those who take too long to choose them. Napoleon Bonaparte used to say that nothing is more difficult and therefore more precious, than being able to decide. And this applies perfectly to building wealth. Most people spend their lives waiting for the perfect moment to act, waiting for more money, more security, more knowledge. But the successful know that perfection never comes. They make decisions with the information they have, adjust the path as necessary, and move forward. The courage to act comes from confidence in yourself and in your own vision. If you've developed a solid plan and have an ardent desire to prosper, you can't allow doubt to paralyze you. Fear of failure prevents more people from getting rich than lack of money. Many give up before even trying, while others simply make the decision to continue until they win. The difference between the rich and those who remain in scarcity lies exactly there. Decision can't be just a passing thought. It needs to transform into immediate action. If you want to open a business, start today. If you want to learn a new skill, dedicate yourself now. If you need to connect with influential people, take the first step. Deciding without acting is the same as desiring without believing. Those who act, even with few resources, are always closer to wealth than those who just wait. Tell me, how many times have you failed to make a decision for fear of the unknown? And how many opportunities may have escaped because of this? Remember, indecision is expensive. If you want prosperity, you need to cultivate the ability to decide quickly and act with courage. Because wealth always belongs to those who have the audacity to seek it. If you've made it this far and are enjoying this video, click like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss valuable new content like this. Now let's move on to the next principle, the power of persistence. If there's one factor that separates the rich from the poor, the winners from the losers, it's persistence. No matter how talented you are, how many contacts you have, or how lucky you seem to be, if you give up in the face of difficulties, you will never achieve wealth. During my research, I discovered that all great fortunes were built by men and women who refused to accept failure as a final destination. Persistence is the true key to transforming a dream into reality. Most people give up too soon. They face an obstacle and conclude they aren't capable, that they aren't lucky, or that perhaps wealth isn't for them. But those who accumulate fortune see challenges differently. For them, each difficulty is a test to prove if they really deserve success. Thomas Edison failed more than 10,000 times before inventing the electric light bulb, but each failed attempt brought him closer to the final result. He understood that persistence always wins. Persistence doesn't mean repeating the same mistakes indefinitely, but rather adjusting the strategy and continuing to advance. Those who get rich without initial money know that each no received, each closed door, each mistake made is a valuable lesson. They don't interpret failure as a sign to give up, but as a map that guides them to success. Each challenge overcome makes them stronger, wiser, and more prepared to conquer what they desire. If you want to get rich, ask yourself, how many attempts are you willing to make before giving up? Because true winners move forward until the goal is achieved. They don't count defeats, they just adjust the plan and move on. Wealth never comes to those who give up at the first sign of difficulty. It belongs to those who remain firm, even when everything seems against them. Are you treating your challenges as insurmountable barriers or as stepping stones to success? Feel free to share with me in the comments. Remember, every great achievement in history was made by someone who decided to continue when everyone else would have given up. And that choice, to persist or to abandon, is in your hands. The power of the mastermind. No man gets rich alone. This is a truth I discovered when studying the world's greatest fortunes. Every great financial empire was built with the help of brilliant minds working together. I call this the mastermind, an alliance of people who share ideas, strategies, and mutual support to achieve a common goal. Wealth is not just the result of what you know, but also of who you know and who you associate with. Andrew Carnegie, one of the richest men in history, revealed to me that his secret wasn't just in his knowledge about steel, but in the network of intelligent people he gathered around him. He built a powerful mastermind, surrounding himself with experts in different areas. Each brought an essential skill to the company's success, and together they created an empire. Without this alliance, his fortune would never have existed. If you want to get rich without initial money, you need to start building your own mastermind circle. Ask yourself, who are the people who can help me? Who already has the knowledge or experience I lack? Who can introduce me to the right opportunities? The mastermind doesn't need to be formed only by investors or entrepreneurs. It can be a group of people with a growth mindset, who support each other on the journey to success. The great advantage of the mastermind is that it multiplies your intelligence and your opportunities. When you connect with people who share your vision, new ideas emerge, along with strategic partnerships and paths you might never have seen alone. Many of history's greatest opportunities arose in casual meetings between brilliant minds. A single right contact can open doors that would take years to access otherwise. Reflect. Who have you been spending the most time with? Are these people propelling you toward success or keeping you trapped in mediocrity? If you want to get rich, you need to surround yourself with people who think big, because the environment you're in largely determines the level of wealth you can achieve. Sixth sense and hidden opportunities. There's an invisible force that guides those who are ready to receive wealth. I call it the sixth sense, and I discovered that all the great millionaires use it, even if unconsciously. This ability cannot be explained by logic alone, but by the connection between the conscious and subconscious mind. It's that sudden intuition that leads you to make the right decision, see an opportunity where no one else sees it, or avoid a fatal mistake before it happens. The sixth sense develops when your mind is completely aligned with your goal. If you live with fear, doubt, and insecurity, your perception becomes obscured. But if you feed your mind with thoughts of success, surround yourself with the right people, and act decisively, your intuition becomes sharp. Opportunities begin to appear seemingly out of nowhere, and answers that previously seemed inaccessible begin to appear clearly. Great businessmen like Henry Ford and John D. Rockefeller deeply trusted their intuition. They knew there was information that the conscious mind couldn't capture, but that the subconscious was able to process. Ford used to make important decisions based on internal feelings, and he was almost always right. This wasn't luck, it was the manifestation of his sixth sense, trained by years of absolute focus on his goals. If you want to get rich without initial money, you need to learn to trust your internal perception and interpret the signs around you. Opportunities are everywhere, but go unnoticed by those who aren't prepared to recognize them. How many times have you had a brilliant idea, but ignored it because it seemed impossible? Or felt you should take a specific action, but hesitated and lost the chance? The sixth sense is the key to avoiding these failures. Now I want to know, have you been listening to your intuition, or have you let doubt take over? Because wealth rarely comes in an obvious way. It hides between the lines of life, waiting to be perceived by those who have trained their minds to see the invisible. If you want to prosper, start right now trusting more in your instinct and acting according to your perceptions. For this is how true millionaires transform invisible ideas into tangible fortunes. Now that you know the 10 essential principles to get rich without initial money, you realize that wealth doesn't begin in your pocket, but in your mind. The key to success lies in ardent desire, unwavering faith, specialized knowledge, and persistent action. Money is just a reflection of the right mindset applied with strategy and determination. If this knowledge made sense to you, I want to invite you. Like this video and subscribe to the channel to continue receiving powerful insights about wealth and personal development. Your success begins with the decision to learn and apply. And here, I share exactly what you need to transform your financial life. Now, tell me in the comments, which of these principles impacted you the most? I want to know your opinion and how you plan to apply this in your daily life. And don't forget, there are more videos like this waiting for you on the screen now. Watch the next one and continue advancing toward your prosperity.